Your model?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Going on to the face.
오길 잘한 것 같아. 안녕하세요 여러분, 한솔쌀롱의 정혜솔입니다. 4시에 클래스가 있어요. 그게 메이크업 포에버에서 하는 Better Complexion, 얼굴 안색을 좀 더 좋게 하는 그런 파운데이션을 매칭하는 거에 대한 클래스인데 제가 한번 가서 열심히 배워오도록 하겠습니다. 머리를 완전 피고 싶은데 워낙 유명한 거니까 살짝 매트하게 해볼까 싶어가지고 화장을 눈에 음영을 빡 줄까 싶어요. 2시 10분인데 못해도 3시 전에는 나가려고 하거든요. 최대한 빨리 화장을 해보도록 하겠습니다. 피부가 엄청 뽀송뽀송. 제가 매트한 파운데이션이 2개가 있는데 요거는 에스티로더, 요거는 메이블린 핏미거든요. 근데 컬러가 이렇게 다르네요. 2개 컬러를 그냥 섞을게요. 오랜만에 쇼핑몰을 가서 조금 또 신이 났네요. 뷰티 블렌더에 물을 묻혀왔고요. 빨리하려고 마음이 급해. 엄청 매트하게 모공보다인데 모공도 다 가리고, 그죠? 오! 조합이 좋습니다. 완전 만족. 보정을 하기 위해서 또 제 메이크업 포에버 오늘도 강의를 가는데 제가 안 할 수가 없죠. 피카소 브러쉬로 일단 눈 굴려주고요. 모공이 많은 부위 이 부분을 한 번 더 쓸어줬어요. 윤곽을 좀 잡아줄게요. 윤곽을 세게 잡아주기 위해서 두꺼운 브러쉬를 사용할게요. 3컬러 모두. 아무래도 머리할 시간은 없을 것 같은 느낌이니 스멀스멀. 노즈 쉐딩 이 2컬러로 이 부분을 좀 세게 잡아야지 코를 좀 더 높게 세울 수 있는 방법입니다. 그 아이오 음영도 좀 잡아주고요. 눈썹은 그저께 잘 깎아놓은 세포라 하드 포뮬라 나오는 건가? 아, 나온다. 오! 다행이다. 잘 나와요. 약간 산을 표현할 거라서 여기 제일 높은 부분을 한 번 더 살려줄게요. Precisely My Brow Pencil 5번으로 윤곽을 잡아줄게요. 브러쉬로 반대편도 눈썹을 진짜 진하게 그렸어요. 나스 포토벨로 이 피카소 브러쉬로 밝은 이 컬러로 눈 전체에 음영을 좀 주고요. 그다음에 눈 밑에도 조금 넓게, 조금 더 진한 컬러가 필요해가지고 타르트 프로고 좀 더 진하게 올리기 위해서 이 납작한 붓을 사용할게요. 이거는 얼번 디케이 206번 엣지 컬러. 이거를 이 눈 뜨면 보이는 부분 위주로 살살살살, 그리고 뒤로 좀 빼줄게요. 밑에는 삼각존 부분만 채워줄게요. 음영이 빡 들어갔습니다. 제가 이 상태에서 렌즈를 끼고 올게요. 약간 동공이 커 보이는 걸로 끼고 왔고, 제 아이라이너를 그려볼게요. 타르트 젤 아이라이너고요. 브라운 컬러. 피카소 72번 브러쉬예요. 이런 브러쉬. 저는 좀 길게 그릴 거라서 이렇게 뾰족하게 라인 뺄 때는 이런 브러쉬가 진짜 편해요. 이렇게 예전에 회사 다닐 때 항상 이렇게 라인을 빼고 다녔었거든요. 야유회나 이런 데 가서 쌩얼을 보여줄 때 사람들이 진짜 깜짝 놀라더라고요. 오늘은 눈 아래쪽에도 살짝 해볼게요. 약간 점막에서 조금 더 떨어져서 슬슬 찍으면서 앞으로 최대한 붓에 있는 걸 덜어내야지 원하는 대로 찍을 수가 있어요. 아주 마음에 듭니다. 조금 두꺼운 이런 브러쉬를 사용해서 아까 썼던 진한 색 경계선을 좀 풀어줄게요. 코 밑에도 살짝. 오늘 눈썹은 제가 또 사랑하는 요거, 붙인 쪽, 안 붙인 쪽. 뭐 말씀 안 드려도 아시겠죠? 빨리 하고 가야 되는데 마를 동안 또 이거 한 모금. 짠! 눈썹 전체를 뷰러로 한번 잡아줄게요. 잘 된 것 같아요. 여기 볼, 나스 실 이렇게 요거랑 광을 살짝 만들어볼게요. 이걸로 키스미 롱앤컬 마스카라로 그냥 스쳐 지나가주세요. 맥 프라이머를 이용해서 사이에 저는 정리를 좀 해야겠어요. 요거 발라볼게요. 3C 이게 프라이머를 발라놔가지고 엄청 잘 발려요. 진짜 매트하거든요. 그리고 골드러쉬 이용해가지고 이 컬러를 바르는 게 나을 것 같아요. 스프레이 뿌리고 나갔다 오도록 하겠습니다. 얼굴을 지울 거예요.
이렇게 직접 하는 클래스인지 모르고 화장은 다 해왔어.
오, 이런 게 있어.
Perfect. Do you mind if I try a little bit on you?
Oh, sure. Isn't it?
Color-wise, not coverage, but
Yeah. I think this one is better than that.
yeah. Yours is the same color.
Oh,
It's just
really?
because the blending, you couldn't really
Ah.
see the product, so you're like, where is it? I didn't know what you did.
Yeah, it's good.
Wow. Hello.
It's good.
Sounds like a party.
I used to use this one. Yeah, Y245.
여기 이렇게 가져다 놓으셨어요.
짜잔 짜잔. 신랑이 열심히 받아 적고 있고 감사합니다. Do you have like skincare product to?
That one, I'll give you a moisturizer.
Ah, okay. My skin gets dry.
There we go. Did you actually want to be my model?
Your model?
Yeah. So I have to demonstrate the steps on someone. So
yeah, sure,
especially
why
since you're videotaping too, I think it's probably the best.
Yeah, I want to.
Beautiful.
Yes. Why not? Huh?
저기서
I don't know. Oh.
Whenever you're ready, I'll get you right up here.
Okay.
And
I'm ready.
soaking up the nice weather. At least someone is. I'm not. I'm just sitting here. We are also the only store in Ontario that has a table like this that has classes. We are the ones, one of 3 in Canada that have this table. So we're really happy to be pushing that service. Last but not least, if any of us are making a purchase today, we do have a skip the line card here. Please let us know. We'll get you to the front of the line. The way that the class is going to work is that we are going to have a demo portion and a try-on portion. So during that demo portion, I'm going to be demonstrating the steps on my beautiful model Hansol. Thanks for being model. And I'm going to demo the steps on half of her face. When I'm done with those few steps, I'm going to pass it over to you guys, and you have the opportunity to recreate it. It's just technique that we want you to take away from this. So how intense you want it to be, totally up to you. Beautiful. And I just realized I haven't even said my name yet. I've been talking for 5 minutes. So my name is Faven. I'm going to be the facilitator. So that's just a fancy name for teacher. We're going to start off with primer. Some of the benefits of using primer is that it addresses some of your concerns. So if you find that you have dry skin, we can use a hydrating primer. If you find that you have oily skin and you're having issues with oil production, we can use a mattifying primer. You can definitely use more than one primer, but the main thing that you want to take away from that is you don't want to put them on top of each other. You want to put them beside each other. They're neighbors. So if you find that you're oily in the T-zone, we'll use something mattifying there, and we can use something hydrating for the rest of the face. And I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever. This is the base one hydrating primer. This one's amazing because it has hyaluronic acid. So that is something, a little molecule that carries like 3 times its weight. So very, very hydrating. It goes to the core of your skin. So that's going to make up apply a lot smoother. It's going to look and feel a lot better. But the main thing people love primer for is because of how long it keeps the makeup on your face. So it works as a barrier between your skin and your makeup. So that's going to ensure that that makeup is not absorbing deep into the pores and then just disappearing off of your face. It's going to stay on for a few hours. So I'm going to be taking about a dime size of that. And I'm going to be applying this just straight down. So do you guys want to guess why I'm applying the primer down as opposed to up or like in circles or whatever the case? Naturally, we may have a little bit of texture on the face, peach fuzz, anything like that. So this is one way of ensuring that everything lays down flat. So it's not going gonna become an issue when we're applying that foundation. So now we're gonna go ahead straight into foundation. So I'm gonna be using the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. I just learned a new trick. Instead of applying this on the back of your hand, you actually wanna put this onto the brush. This is usually against everything that I've believed in learning makeup. But the thing is, this foundation has hyaluronic acid in it as well. So if you were to put it on the back of your hand and then apply from there, all the active ingredients are actually just gonna be sitting on the hand as opposed to going onto the face. You're gonna notice that it's gonna apply a bit drier than you want it to. So I'm gonna be taking a small, maybe, not even a dime size, what's smaller than a dime? Pearl size. And we're gonna start at the center of the face, and I like to apply that foundation downward. This is not gonna give us the most coverage, however, this is gonna ensure that all the areas get an even distribution. Then we can look at the areas that we want to add coverage to. So you'll see that I'm bringing it all the way down the neck. If we don't bring it down the neck, there is gonna be a line of demarcation of texture because foundation tends to smooth the skin out. So you don't want your face to look so buttery smooth and then right over here, this is where you can see where the mask is. So we want everything to just look nice and seamless. When we get to the forehead, we're gonna be going side to side. But one thing I want you guys to notice is the way that I'm applying it in one direction. I'm not going down and picking it back up. So you wanna stay away from that painter application because when you go down and pick it back up, we're picking up all the texture with us and then we're trying to bring it back down. And the coverage is not gonna be distributed as well as we want it to. So try to keep it straight. Let me give you a little mirror. We're gonna see how you feel about the coverage. Take a look. So how do we feel? Do you want a little more? I was hoping you'd take that. Perfect. We have that nice even application, but there are certain areas in the face that we may want more coverage than others. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply a little bit more. However, this time, as opposed to doing that swiping application, we're gonna do more of a dabbing. So I'm gonna be dabbing it in those areas. So we're just gonna do slightly along the whole cheek. And the way that I want you to think about this part is like nail polish. So let's say when we do one side, it's not that much color payoff. We're gonna do the other side, decent application. However, when we do that second coat, that's when you really see how opaque the nail polish can get. All right, I'm done. Perfect. How are we feeling now?
Good, perfect. I like it.
Excellent. You like it? I love it. Perfect. So now we're gonna go ahead with our concealer. So this is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer. So you're gonna notice a little bit of a highlight as you're putting it on, but at the same time, it's self-setting. So you don't necessarily have to go over it with a powder. So this is great for those of us who find that we have dry patches in our skin, or you find that your skin is generally just on the drier side. This is going to be a big, big help. And with this, I'm just gonna be applying a little bit to the back of my hand. And I'm gonna be using the Sephora Collection number 57 brush. This is very similar to the first brush that I used, the 56 brush, just much smaller because we're dealing with a smaller area. Picking up some of the products, so not scooping the whole thing. And when we go to apply it, I'm not starting directly under the eye. I'm gonna start a little bit lower. So I'm gonna start by the nose. Don't be alarmed. You'll be like, whoa, that looks way too light. But I'm gonna show you a little trick. So I'm blending in one direction, and you'll see that slowly I'm working my way up closer and closer to the lash line. And the reason for this is because the skin around our eyes is about 6 times thinner than the rest of our face. So if we were to go ahead and just put our makeup on as usual, we're already vulnerable to creasing. And the more product that we put there, the more likely you are going to crease. So this is one way of ensuring that you get the coverage that you want, the color that you want, without the buildup and the creasing throughout the day. So look all the way up to the ceiling, beautiful. And the last area that we're gonna touch is the lash line. You guys are probably still looking at me like, okay, has she lost it? Because it's still looking kind of light. To speed up the blending process, we're gonna go back into our 56 brush. And without adding any product, we're gonna be dabbing this along the perimeter. So this is one way of neutralizing it, and it's going to marry those colors together as opposed to leaving those funny lines and jagged edges. So no one knows where the concealer starts and where it stops. So going with a bit of a lighter shade, not only is it going to make you look more awake, but it's actually going to play with the dimension of your face. So I find that the way that we applied it, that little core center area, that actually adds a lift to your face, so it makes your cheekbones look a little bit higher, even though we haven't gone through that full contour process. We're going to be using the Ultra HD. We're going to be taking the Sephora collection number 79 brush, picking up some of the products. I'm going to tap the excess. And all I'm going to do is do light tapping motions under the eye, just to ensure that we don't have any issues with creasing throughout the day. And keep in mind, the concealer is still wet, so we don't want to be swiping it back and forth. We want to make sure that we're just tapping to make sure that we lock in that product. So I'm just tapping like this. Perfect. So this is a setting powder. It's not a foundation powder, so it's not going to be adding any extra coverage. All that it's going to be doing is just locking the products in its place. Perfect. Yeah, so now we're going to get you to do the other side.
Okay.
So this is the section where we're going to be adding some of the dimension and some of the color back into our skin. So we're going to start with a little bit of like a contour. I'm going to be using that 79 brush by Sephora collection. And I'm going to be dipping into the Makeup Forever Artist Face Color. This is the shade S112. The best way to contour and sculpt your own face, I like to take a brush, you can take your finger, your hand, whatever it is, and you're going to align it to the top of your ear. From the top of the ear to your mouth. That's going to be the perfect angle for your face. On Hansol, we're going to be doing that same thing. So I'm going to turn you a little bit this way. And you see the angle right over here. It falls right into her cheekbone. So we're going to take it right from the hairline. We're only going in one direction. I know sometimes when I'm in a rush, I am too. When we apply bronzer, we go back and forth like this. The thing with that is that we don't have as much pigment. We think that we're applying it on fast, but the thing is, we are taking the product from one end and moving it to the other end and going back and forth. So there's not going to be much left in the middle. It's kind of just a dark spot here and then maybe a dark spot over here. So when we're doing this, we're just going to go ahead, do a couple lines like this, and then we're going to be blending upward because we want to hug the cheeks. We want to add a little bit of a lift. If we were to go from here and blend down, that goes from being a contour to just being a funny dark powder on our face. So we're just going to be blending upward, and where do we stop? I like to start about where the arch of your eyebrow is, so where like your actual eyeball is. And then I like to also show some love to the forehead. So I'm lightly just tapping it into the hairline. This is a powder, so it's not going to stay in the hair. So don't be afraid, but that's one area that you want to make sure that you apply it deep into the hairline. We don't want it to look like a mask from here or from here. And then I'm going to lightly apply some over to the jawline, just to add a little bit of balance. I don't want it to look too much like a contour or a bronzer helmet. We want it to be harmonious throughout the face. This one is going to give you a nice flush of color. If you want to build up the color, you have the opportunity to do so. So I'm just going to lightly tap into the blush. This may be new, but we're going to be doing the 2-finger rule. So we're going to put 2 fingers beside our nose. This is going to be the no blush territory. So one, we don't blush over here. You don't have to put 2 fingers literally up every time, but the idea is that you don't put it too close to the center of the face. I like to use the bronzer or the contour as a guideline of where we should put the product. I like to do little figure 8s. So how gentle am I going? Am I going gentle or am I going aggressive? The more gentle you go, you have an opportunity to build up the product. You don't have to be intimidated with how much comes at you at one time. And going back and forth is going to ensure that you can get the apples to the cheeks, but even if you were to bring it backward, it's going to give you a nice like radiant look. But one thing I don't want to see is us smiling like this and putting the blush on. Because God forbid you have a bad day, your blush is going to be down here, and it's not going to give you the same effect that you want. So now we're going to go on to my favorite part of the routine, highlight. The thing with me is I have an oily T-zone, so I like to control where I have my shine. So I don't usually opt for dewy foundations. I like to do something matte and then add the glowiness where I want to add it. So I'm using the Pro Fusion highlighter by Makeup Forever, and we're going back to our 79 brush. So the reason we're going back to a small brush is because highlight needs to be precise. So I'm going to be dipping into this product, and the first place that we're going to be applying this is along the orbital bone. So that's going to be right on top of the cheekbone, and we want to do like a little C around our brow. So we're going to just do small little swipes right along the cheekbone, and then we're gonna lightly bring it around the brow bone. You don't have to go too crazy there, but that is naturally where the sun hits us. And then other areas that I like to add highlight is a little bit on the cupid's bow, a little bit on the bridge of the nose, and you can put a little bit in the forehead area. And last but not least, we're going to take a little bit of setting spray. So this is the opportunity to not only get rid of that powdery look, but to lock in the makeup. So it's kind of like hairspray for your face. And the only thing I have to say about this is commit to the spray. You don't want to go halfway and have it spit at you, because when it spits at you, it's going to leave that little raindrop on your face. So we definitely don't want that. I'm not going to tell you a number, because I feel like every time I say spray 4 times, I go to like 7. Or spray 5 times, I spray 8. So just make sure that you get your whole face evenly. There we go. So now we're gonna let it fan in. As long as you've committed all the way to the spray, you don't have to worry about your face staying wet. You don't have to worry about leaving a funny residue. It's just gonna absorb nicely into the face, and you can call it a day.
이쪽 얼굴이 너무 예뻐 지금. 약간 리프팅 업이 된 느낌? 나 이런 테크닉 처음 봤어. Thank you.
And what I like to do when I spray, little trick, I like to hold it 2 feet away and I go like this zigzag.
So it gets spread. 일단 얼굴이 엄청 리프팅업 돼 보이는데 여기 약간 더 진하다. 리프팅은 얼굴. I don't think so. I think I'm done, right? Wow. Thank you so much. 신랑이 이렇게 다 적어줬어. 뭘 썼는지. 진짜 마음에 들었어. 오길 잘한 것 같아. 아니 모델로 저기 앉아 있을 거라고 생각 아예 못했는데 결국 이 파운데이션을 샀어요. Thank you, 루시아. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.